Kanye West, Gordon Ramsay, Robert Irvine, and Kevin O'Leary. What do you think when you hear those names? I think at first glance, the average person would not have a connection between them. On the other hand, a savvy individual might have already picked up on the connection. And there's the small bit of you that just looked at the title of the video. For the next few moments, I want to open you up to a brand new way of looking at your branding efforts. Too many times, we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of making a name for ourselves, that we miss the part of our efforts that potentially could have a greater impact. Most people who are looking to further their reach are doing so with the mindset of, what can I gain from what I'm doing? Sure, they'll mask it behind helping others build their form of success and servant leadership, but all of that is for naught if they don't really mean it. People will begin to see the cracks, and everything done in the dark comes to the light. I don't want to take up your time and talk about the things that are counterintuitive to your brand, at least not on this video. I want to talk about the ways that you can build up others and build your brand on social media. Before we get started, my name is Ryan. I am a brand and communications consultant, which means I help solopreneurs and multi-million-dollar business owners leverage their personal social media to expand their networks, all while encouraging them to keep it stupid simple. This is one of those stupid simple things. In addition to giving your audience access, which we've talked about in a previous video, this will help you deepen those relationships and take some of the heavy lifting off of your hands. The thing that my list and so many other global brand heads have in common is that they are all kingmakers. A kingmaker is traditionally defined as someone or a group of people who hold significant influence on determining who will take the lead without being the leader themselves. They use their resources, connections, or strategic action to significantly impact the outcome of a leadership selection process. When building up your brand, you should seek to build up the others around you. As I said, traditionally, the kingmaker does not become the king. However, when you utilize this in your branding efforts and in your communications, your reward potentially will be greater than the kings themselves. By positioning yourself as the kingmaker, you make yourself the authority in your particular space. You may not be the most prominent name on the guest list as far as popularity goes, but you more than make up for that from the recognition from the kings and those looking to be in that spot. So with that being said, now that we understand what a kingmaker is, we need to understand how to become one. Imagine you're on a hike in the wilderness. You're all geared up with your backpack, your water bottle, you have a map, and you come across a group of fellow hikers who just got lost. They're wandering around unsure of what path they should take. So you happen to be a seasoned hiker. You whip out your map and you start guiding them. You point out the best trails, warn them about rough terrain, and you share tips to make the journey a lot easier. Before you know it, they're back on track, all thanks to your guidance. If you couldn't tell, in this scenario, you are the kingmaker, and your tools are like the gear in your backpack. You've got your connections, which are like friends who know the trails and can introduce you to new and fellow hikers. Then there's strategic planning, which is plotting the route and making sure you have all the necessary supplies to complete the journey. And lastly, you have your resources, the right gear to accomplish the goal. Now, let's unpack these tools and see how they can make you the kingmaker in your own niche. As a kingmaker, you're not just focused on your own path, you're plotting the course for others. You help them set clear goals, identify opportunities, and make calculated moves to reach their destination. It's all about knowing where they're going and how they're going to get there. Think of it as being the mastermind behind a successful campaign or a specific project for someone else. You take into account their strengths, their weaknesses, and their aspirations, and you craft a plan that plays into their strengths and maximizes their chances for success. Without your strategic plan, they're just wandering aimlessly. They're hoping for the best. But with your guidance, they're charting a path to success and staying on track to achieve their goals. You become the architect behind their story. So as a kingmaker, your ability to develop strategic plans for others is what sets you apart. It's the key to helping them navigate their way through the twists and turns of their journey and ultimately reach new heights in their brand or their career. All right, we've already talked about the importance of strategic planning. Let's move on to another key tool, which is resources. Like I said, resources are like having the right tools to tackle any obstacle that comes up along the way. Whether Whether it's financial resources, knowledge, skills, or platforms, your resources should give them the extra boost to navigate this terrain successfully. In the world of social media and branding, resources come in many forms. That's financial resources that allow you to invest in someone or provide that financial support. It could be knowledge and skills that you offer that provide valuable insight into a matter. It could also be those platforms such as your social media, your event, your stages that you allow others to hop on so they can showcase themselves and their talent. Now, here's the thing. Resources are important, but they are not as crucial as your connections and your strategic planning. Without strong connections, you may not know how to use your resources effectively, and without strategic planning, your resources could be spent on the wrong opportunities effectively. Remember to leverage your resources wisely. They can give you that extra boost, but they're not the end all be all. And neither your strategic planning nor your resources mean anything if you don't have the connections. Here's the deal. Here's the honest truth. When it comes to being a kingmaker, your connections are everything. They're the secret sauce that makes or breaks anybody who's willing to come to you for your support. Imagine this if you can. You're the go-to person for everybody in your industry. You know everyone and everyone knows you. You're the one that people go to when they need advice, guidance, or to get their foot into the door. Even if you don't have a plan or the resources on hand, you know exactly where to get them. Being well connected is one of the most powerful things an individual can be. Why? Because there's always the chance that you know a guy. Whether it's a potential client, a collaborator, or an investor, having the right connections opens the doors that might have previously been closed. But it's not just about what your connections can do for you. It's about building the trust in those deep relationships. When you are constantly delivering value and helping others to succeed, you become someone they can rely on and that they can trust. And that trust goes a long way with building your network and your influence. Here's the kicker. Although it's not mandatory, the person you are helping now has a perceived obligation to reciprocate your kindness. It's the law of reciprocity in action. By going above and beyond for others, you'll create a network of allies who are eager to return the favor when the time comes. So as you build your empire as the kingmaker, never underestimate the power of your connections. They're not just your ticket to success. They're the key to unlocking opportunities for yourself and for others and building lasting relations that can take you to new heights. By focusing on building up others, providing strategic guidance, leveraging your resources, and fostering strong connections, you can position yourself as a powerful influencer in your niche. Remember, true reward of you being a kingmaker lies not in being the king yourself, but in the recognition and the potential that comes from supporting others on their journeys. As always, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you've gotten value out of this video, share it with 3 people who you think might benefit. I also want to invite you to subscribe to my channel for further insights on branding and communication strategies. And don't forget to check out this video where we pontificate on the connections between the Kardashians and the Holy Bible. We'll see you soon.